Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this 2019 Royal Rumble review video. I can tell you that my voice is failing me because I have not long finished a 7-hour live stream, 2-hour pre-show, 5-hour main show. It overran by an hour, yeah, there's lots to talk about. I feel like the show was a good one, but the headlines definitely read no big surprises. That is the headline. No Undertaker, no Kenny Omega, no Rock, no Roman Reigns. There was a lot of disappointment on Twitter after the event had finished. Kind of felt like they teased a few times throughout the show that something big was about to happen, but it didn't deliver it. And I can understand why people are disappointed. But I think if you watch the show now knowing that there are no big surprises, I think it was a very enjoyable show. They actually got a lot of the booking right. I think a lot of the wrestling was good. There was very few matches that disappointed. We did get surprises. There was a lot of NXT talent. NXT UK was represented as well. And so I struggle to complain, to be honest. You know, it just felt like it needed that one big surprise. We got it last year with Ronda Rousey. We just didn't really get anything this year. I do want to talk about the stadium before we go into the matches. I thought it worked. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people, again, were quite split online about that because the entrance stage didn't have a big screen. It was all about the same height as the superstars. And that's because they were actually coming up from the ground from a dugout because it was a baseball stadium. It's different. It didn't feel like Raw. It didn't feel like SmackDown. It was outside. There was 48,000 people there. It worked. For me, anyway, it worked. It was something different. The pre-show absolutely did not work, in my opinion. It was just the usual video package bonanza. We got 3 matches. The first one being Bobby Roode and Chad Gable against Dawson from the Revival and Rezar from the Authors of Pain. Now, I know that Akam is injured. Not sure about Dash. Dash actually posted this image of a waving hand. I feel like that's Dash waving goodbye. That could be Dash going off to AEW. Again, that was the talk online. I'm not sure how true that is, but it was quite a cryptic message from Dash, and I honestly don't know why he wasn't in this match. Why wasn't it Bobby Roode and Chad Gable against the Revival? Why was Rezar involved? I don't know. The main talking point here was the cameraman falling over. I'm not joking. At the very start, the cameraman takes a tumble. I mean, he's a trooper. He continues filming. Nothing but respect. And honestly, that was the highlight. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable win the match. Let's just move on. Second match, Nakamura against Rusev for the United States Championship. Lana getting involved because Nakamura was taking the turnbuckle pad off. And Rusev knocks into her. She falls to the outside, picks up an injury, and that would have big repercussions for later in the show. Nakamura gets the United States Championship back. I feel like we're going to get Nakamura against Mustafa Ali, and I'll tell you why in a bit. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's why they've put the title on Nakamura, because that's a feud they want to explore. Next, we got the best part of the pre-show. That was the Cruiserweight match. Buddy Murphy retained his championship. Again, I don't want to go, too deep into it. You can watch the pay-per-view yourself. But Buddy Murphy retained. Fast-paced match. High-flying action. Definitely do not skip this. It was one of the best matches of the night. And honestly, the Cruiserweights normally put on one of the best matches of the night, so no surprise there. This brought us to the main show, and first match, Becky Lynch against Asuka. There was lots of CGI. We had a CGI The Man logo, and then Asuka had masks. We have seen this at other big pay-per-views. Feels like they used it more for the Royal Rumble, so maybe 2019 they're turning the CGI dial up a little bit, but it kind of worked here because obviously we didn't have like a massive entrance stage, so it kind of felt like the CGI was just a nice addition. And yeah, hard-hitting stuff in this first match. Both of them trading kind of submission holds. Becky putting Asuka in an Asuka lock. Asuka putting Becky in a disarmer. It was quite good stuff. Another wardrobe malfunction in this match. You don't get to see it. The screen just goes blank. But the rumour is that it was a wardrobe malfunction for Becky. Again, don't know any details. It was just a blank screen. But I've even seen like newspapers like The Sun and people like that reporting about it. So, don't know. But yes, just so you know, that happened. And yeah, Asuka wins. That's the kind of big talking point here. Hard-hitting match. Asuka wins. Really great match. Really enjoyable. Had a good pace to it. Felt like a war at times. Trading blows back and forth. But Asuka makes Becky tap. I wouldn't have gone that way. I don't think that was the best finish. It kind of feels like Becky should have just passed out. But they've, you know, tried to get Becky to tap to kind of give Asuka a little bit more of a push. You know, Asuka really lost steam after last year's WrestleMania, so I don't know, I suppose you can't be too down on it. Next we had The Bar taking on Miz and Shane. Miz was wearing Miz O'Mac shirt. Shane had a Shane O'Mac shirt, of course. Shane looking like he normally does, white kind of baseball shirt. The Miz, again, looked largely like he normally does, but he just had his Miz O'Mac shirt, which sadly got destroyed during the match. Sheamus ripping it off and then, you know, clubbing down on the chest. Couple of nice spots in here. There was a coast-to-coast attempt. Didn't connect. Cesaro interrupting it and then grabbing him and doing a Cesaro swing. So, yeah, again, could go, like, deep into this match, but Miz and Shane win. The match is won when Shane hits the shooting star press. A shooting star press from Shane McMahon, giving them the victory. And they celebrate by going over to Miz's dad. This was one of my favourite parts of the night. Miz's dad holding the tag team titles whilst Miz and Shane are there celebrating in front of him. It was absolutely brilliant. I would love to see them three as like the New Day. They should try and sign up Miz's dad. I want to see Shane, Miz's dad against the New Day or maybe Undisputed Era. I'm telling you, it's the future. It's the future of wrestling. Next we had Ronda Rousey against Sasha Banks. Another hard-hitting match. Ronda actually punching one of the ring posts and the LED went off for a little bit. I think it was a work, I'm not sure. But looked cool anyway. It was a nice little spot. She was actually screaming, "You don't think I can wrestle? Watch this." And then she kind of did some sloppy stuff. But you know, it was alright. She was doing some decent stuff. She's definitely come on a long way. A long way compared to where she was, you know, when she first came in. She's only been on the main roster for 12 months, and obviously she didn't spend any time down in NXT. So she, look, taking nothing away from Ronda, I think she does a fantastic job. Sasha did a great job as well, although she had like beads in her hair that kept falling out that were a little bit annoying. Her ring attire was like falling apart towards the end of the match, but she actually used it in the match. She was like choking out. She had it wrapped around the mouth of Ronda and she was like choking her out and pulling it back, and it's really good, really good. But Ronda picking up the victory by hitting Piper's Pit, which is her finishing move on Sasha, getting the 1, 2, 3. And after the match, there was a show of respect from Ronda to Sasha. She helped her out the ring, and then she went to shake hands with her outside the ring. Sasha just went like that. Now, when she did that, I honestly thought at the time Sasha was saying, yeah, you've got the title, but I'm a 4-time champion. I've won that thing 4 times. I don't know why, that was the first thing that came to mind, but of course it's not that, is it? It's the 4 horsewomen. They're building towards that 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen feud. It just felt a little out of place. I don't know why Sasha would say 4 horsewomen at that time. Kind of feels like it would make more sense if she was saying, look, you might have that title, but I'm a 4-time champion. I've won that 4 times. But I don't know. I obviously, we don't know exactly what she was saying, but yes, I read it, I think, differently to other people. But it was, again, great match. A little bit sloppier than the Asuka-Becky match, but still, great match. Next, we got the Women's Royal Rumble, and I think there was around about 8 surprises in here. I'll read off all the entries for you, because obviously I cannot remember them off the top of my head. Started with Lacey Evans, Natalya, who actually put in like an Iron Woman performance, Mandy Rose, Liv Morgan, who was very quickly eliminated. She could have the all-time record for quickest female elimination. I'd have to look that up. Mickie James, Ember Moon, Billie Kay came down and waited on the outside. Didn't really know why, but we found out because Nikki Cross was next. Nikki Cross, really good showing for her. And then Peyton Royce, that's why she waited, because she was waiting for Peyton Royce. Iconics going into the match, causing a little bit of trouble, but honestly, I felt like they should have been given more to do. They weren't in there for long together. They both get eliminated at the same time. It felt like a bit of a waste. Next, we had Tamina, who had a decent showing. And then we had Xia Li. Xia Li, who is down in NXT, had a great showing in the Mae Young Classic. And a weird choice, I thought, to be in the Royal Rumble. I would have preferred someone like Miko Satomura, but I don't think she's under contract at the moment, and maybe they just couldn't get that deal. It felt like they wanted to showcase some of the talent that they've got down in NXT, and they brought in Xia Li, who did a great job, I thought. Sarah Logan was next, did well. Number 13, unlucky for some, certainly for Charlotte, was Charlotte. Then we got Kairi Sane. That was fantastic. She came out with a little telescope, looking for the way forward. Off she went down to the ring, and she had a great Royal Rumble. Then we had Maria Kanellis, who was dressed like Eva Marie. The whole thing upset me. I don't want to talk about it. Next we had Naomi, who managed to avoid elimination. She was walking along the barricade. The thing was like rocking and shaking. She managed to make this massive leap onto the steps, and then Mandy Rose just pushes her off. Mandy Rose had been eliminated just moments before, and obviously that feud continuing in the Royal Rumble. Next, Candice LeRae. That was a big surprise. Candice LeRae from NXT. That was a nice moment. Alicia Fox coming down. She was like a wacky inflatable armed woman. She was loving it. She had this big hat on. She was like, yeah, woo! You know what she's like. Man, I'm a big Alicia Fox fan. So yeah, that was very cool. KACY CATANZARO, again, Mae Young Classic competitor. She's down in NXT. I think she goes out with Ricochet. The reason that I mention that is she is kind of like the female Ricochet. Flips all over the place, does loads of cool stuff. She did a top rope handstand. She did it in the Mae Young Classic. She managed to repeat it here. It is such a cool spot. Absolutely love that. Then Zelina Vega came down, like Vega out of Street Fighter. She had the mask, she had the claw, she looked really cool. She went straight under the ring to hide from the rest of them. Turns out Hornswoggle was under there. When she spotted him, she came running out, went into the ring, quick elimination, ran to the back as Hornswoggle chased after her. That really was one of the big surprise moments of the match. I'm not joking. People will probably be talking about that Hornswoggle moment. Then we got Ruby Riott, Dana Brooke, Io Shirai. I was so pleased that Io Shirai was in this. She had a good showing. Again, felt like we could have got more from her. But a couple of nice moonsaults. Beautiful moonsault to the outside to take out the Riot Squad. It was good stuff. Rhea Ripley was in this. NXT UK. Rhea Ripley, the first NXT UK Women's Champion. Again, fine. Can't remember a great deal, actually, that Rhea Ripley did, but it was just cool to see her in the Rumble. Sonya Deville, Alexa Bliss got a massive pop. Huge reaction for Alexa Bliss. Then we got Bayley. Then it was meant to be Lana. As we said, she was injured earlier. She tried to get down to the ring. She couldn't do it. Next person out was Nia Jax, that then attacked Lana, making things worse. Then, obviously, Carmella came out last. That was all of the entries. And then Becky Lynch arrived and said, look, Lana's not going to make it. You need a 30th person. Let that person be me. And she was talking to Finlay, who's Irish. So Finlay was like, oh, go on. Anyway, he didn't actually say that. But he let her go down. She went down, entered, and what would you know? She managed to win. She managed to win the Royal Rumble. Got down to Charlotte and Becky. And I think Charlotte went for a big boot. Mistimed it. Went over the top. There you go. Becky Lynch wins. Next, we got Daniel Bryan against AJ Styles. Really good match. At the wrong time, because this was a technical match. You needed to watch it. It was quite intricate. Daniel had scouted AJ Styles. AJ, phenomenal forearm. He knew it was coming. Styles clash. He managed to get out of it. The 450 splash. He managed to get his knees up. He constantly seemed to be a step ahead. You kind of needed to be really watching it, paying attention to it, and no one was. Even me. After that Women's Rumble match, it had taken just all the life out of the stadium, out of me as well. You kind of needed a moment to kind of catch your breath, get your energy back again. Yeah, the match definitely suffered, but it's not a bad match. I think if you was to watch it again now, I feel like you would enjoy it more second time of watching it. Maybe not the finish. The finish sees Rowan appear. Not Bludgeon Brother, but in like a flannel shirt, and he interfered in the match, came in, I think it was a choke slam to AJ Styles, and Daniel Bryan gets the victory. So kind of feels like Daniel's getting a little bit of help now. I just wondered, are we going to see Harper come back, and will this now be Daniel Bryan, Harper, Rowan as a team of three that could potentially take on AJ Styles, Gallows, and Anderson? Could we be getting some kind of like a faction war or something along those lines? That would be cool. That would be cool. I'd be down for that, because then you've got the New Day as well that can always get involved. So, yeah, interesting stuff. I actually didn't hate this. I didn't like the fact it ruined the end of the match, but I feel like there's a bigger story to tell, so it's alright. Next, we got Brock Lesnar against Finn Balor. And this was actually quite interesting. Finn Balor getting quite a bit of offense in. He sort of jumped Brock at the start of the match. Brock then managed to get back into it, but charged into the corner of the commentary table. It was like holding his abdomen. He's obviously had issues there before. Yeah, it was good. It was interesting storytelling. You know, Finn managed to get more offense in, hit the coup de grace, and got the pin, but got 2 counts, and then Brock managed to get on. I think it was the Gamora, and that was it. You know, Balor was done. Balor had to tap. There's a great meme all over the internet of Brock squeezing the life out of Finn Balor. Finn Balor not in Demon. He said he wouldn't be Demon. Came down. He looked smart. White boots, red attire, bit of black on the side. He looked classy. But sadly just came up short. But, you know, no disgrace there. A lot of great wrestlers have struggled when it's come to trying to beat Brock Lesnar. But, yeah, they were like teasing after this that something was going to happen. Brock was beating up on Finn after the match. No one saved Finn. I didn't know if The Undertaker might appear. I thought The Undertaker might appear, you know, start attacking Brock. Brock scuttles away. And then maybe Undertaker goes after Balor himself, and then we get Balor Undertaker at WrestleMania, but we didn't get anything like that. But yeah, it was just crazy that it was teased, and you felt like something was going to happen, and then nothing did. And that was kind of the show in many ways. And that brings us to the final match, which of course was the Men's Royal Rumble match. Again, let me go through all the entries. Elias started by playing a song. By this point, it was clear we were going to overrun. So it was weird that he had this moment at the start where he was trying to sing a song. But Double J, Jeff Jarrett came down at number 2. They started talking about potentially doing a duet together, but Elias actually attacked Jeff Jarrett. Bit weird for Elias, who's meant to be a face, now to do that, but it is what it is. Number 3 came down. That was Nakamura, who of course won it last year. I don't know why Nakamura was in this, because he was obviously on the pre-show and he won the United States Championship, so kind of feels like this spot could have gone to another surprise instead. Kurt Angle, I would say, was a surprise, maybe one that was expected, but Big E came in after that. Johnny Gargano, should have seen that coming when Candice was in the women's. Johnny, of course, being in the men's because they are married. Jinder Mahal was in, not for long after that. Then Samoa Joe, Kurt Hawkins, Seth Rollins, Titus O'Neil came running down, stopped just before he got to where he had fallen over at the greatest Royal Rumble, and then spotted that Kurt Hawkins was under the ring, and so went after him. Ended up getting quickly eliminated. The whole thing was a mess. It wasn't good. I liked how they played on the, you thought I was going to fall again, didn't you? But then I just didn't understand why you started chasing after Kurt Hawkins. After that, we had Kofi Kingston. His save this year was he got knocked off and Xavier Woods caught him. Xavier Woods was kind of there to stop his legs going on the ground, and then managed to flip him up, and it was done really well. Then we had Mustafa Ali, great Rumble. It actually eliminated Nakamura, which is why I think they might have a feud, because they're pushing Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali was the person I thought Nakamura might go into a feud with, and then he eliminated him. So just kind of putting 2 and 2 together. Dean Ambrose was in there for a little while, but ended up getting eliminated by Aleister Black. It's quite interesting. No Way Jose wasn't in there for long at all. His conga line came down with him. They were still at ringside when he was walking back. Drew McIntyre came down, actually attacking No Way Jose and some of that conga line. Then Xavier Woods, as we mentioned. Pete Dunne, one of the highlights of the night for me. Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight NXT UK champion. He had a great Royal Rumble, really did. He was in there for a little while. Not sure if he picked up any eliminations, but certainly had some great moments in there. And Andrade came down after that. Then we had Apollo. Then we had Aleister Black, as we mentioned earlier. Shelton Benjamin, Baron Corbin, Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler. Little bit of a surprise. He eliminated Drew as soon as he got in. Randy Orton, and then R-Truth. Now, R-Truth was about to come out and Nia Jax attacked him. I honestly thought, we're getting Kenny. Nia Jax has attacked, or maybe we get The Rock, or it's Roman's return, or I felt like something was going to happen. And then Nia went to the ring. Nia entered the Royal Rumble. I think she picked up like an elimination in there as well. But honestly, the best was still to come, because she got hit with a super kick, 619, and an RKO, and then was hurled out of the ring. It was weird. Again, what I was talking about, where they teased something, and you thought something big was going to happen, and in a way, something big kind of happened. Nia went to the ring. She becomes the 4th person, the 4th woman to enter the Men's Royal Rumble. We've obviously had Chyna, Karma, Beth Phoenix, and now Nia Jax. But yeah, you know, bit of fun. And then, obviously, we got down to the final two being Braun and Seth. Curb stomp on the outside, and Seth Rollins wins. And then you're waiting to see, is someone going to come out? No one did. The screen went to black, and that was it. That was the 2019 Royal Rumble. Overall, an enjoyable show. I would say this is like a 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. A big surprise, you'd be talking 9.5. There was very little on the main show that I didn't enjoy, but a few questionable moments, but nothing massive. So, yeah, it was alright. And that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you enjoyed the video. Give it a like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.